What is going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. I'm Bill with EvilleTruck, and this is Matt, and this is the attached Squatch. Now, Matt does have some pretty big tires on here. He's got 40s, and one problem that you have with 40s is it's hard. You can't, if you had just the regular tail light, the third brake light, even with like the extensions, you wouldn't be able to see it. It would be tucked behind there, and you couldn't see it. So he hasn't been running one. He does have the Oracle light inside to make up for the lack of having the one above that. But we have a solution for that here from Turn Offroad. Now, you may have seen this because they came out with it fairly recently, and it's been pretty popular because not only is it a third brake light, it is a reverse light, and it's also a chase light. So we are going to get this connected and hooked up, and this thing is sturdy, it is beefy, that's pretty solid, and I think it's up to 42 or up to 44 inches. They said it will work for tires, so a 40 should work with it with no problem. One thing, this is the wiring kit that this comes with. It plugs right into the back, and then you have to do a bunch of wire splicings. They do have an optional wiring harness, which is what we're going to use, which is this plug and play kit. There's a little bit of splicing involved, but not nearly as much, and it just kind of plugs into your existing lights, and the only thing we really have to wire up is the upfitter switch to the chase light. Everything else is going to be plug and play, and then a ground that we got to connect. So that's going to be a little bit simpler. We're going to go that route instead of this route to make our lives easier. But first things first, we got to take that big old tire off of there so we have access to work. So we're going to get that off, and then we'll check in and start plugging this all together. All right, so we are going to make a modification to the plug and play harness, which kind of defeats the purpose of a plug and play harness. But in our case, it's got this yellow wire running down, and they have you disconnect back behind here. I don't want to take this medicine cabinet out, for one, and for two, if we disconnect that will also disconnect the power that's running out here to this third brake light, which we've tapped into. So I am actually going to bypass that and just tie that yellow wire into this yellow wire, which is the power that's already coming from the door. So I'm going to have that connected. So that's going to be the one change you're going to make to their harness. Otherwise, there's a connector inside the door where this would just, you would unplug the plug that's in there and plug that in, and it would run the power. Instead, we're just going to use the power that we already got out there and run that. So I had a battery tender, and we got the power connected just so we can see how all the wiring works. So we got this green wire, which is going to run into the plug that connects behind the tail light. And if we connect, this is going to connect behind our tail light, and then we'll be able to plug this in to this green wire here, and that will be our reverse light, which that's super bright. And then we have brown and orange wires, which you could have them connected separately. One's the left light, one's the right light. We're just going to connect them both together to the upfitter switch. So you turn the upfitter switch, you'll have the chase lights on, the amber lights, and then I said this is your power to your brake lights. So whenever you press on the brakes, it's going to go in there and turn on your brake light. So we got the wiring figured out. We just got to go ahead and put that on there. So one thing also to note is we did have to put this adapter plate on, depending, which I got to loosen that because I did not line those holes up. But depending on, some of these are made differently where the inside holes are at the top and the lower ones are further out, which is how this plate is made. In the case like this one, where the upper holes are the further ones out, you just use this plate, and it changes the orientation. That way you can have everything dialed in and connected. and we just have these extra screws to provide extra security there. So we'll go ahead, get this mounted, and we'll start getting all the wiring run. All right, so I didn't think these holes were lining up and was trying to force them and make it work. And it turns out the holes do line up, but this is directional, this plate. As you see, these top holes are further out and these bottom holes are in a little bit further. Pretty hard to distinguish, but there is a top and a bottom to these. But the way to find out is when you hold it up to the holes there, they will line up. If you have it flipped around the other way, they don't. So it's something to be aware of. And if you're starting to cuss at Turn Offroad because the adapter that they made didn't line up, it's because you have it upside down. And one more update on this adapter plate. I got all these screws in, everything tightened up, and I was looking and I was like, I don't have screws to attach the light to this. I was like, unless I was supposed to use those screws, but what was I supposed to use on that adapter plate? Came to look through the box, and well, there it is. It had a different adapter plate in there, one that already had nutserts on it, that if I would have used this one to start with, would have fit on there perfectly. Everything would have lined up, and I wouldn't have had to use these screws with the nuts. I'm still missing 2 screws. Yeah, so I'm not going to undo that and replace that, because I should still have, well, 3 screws, two for here and 1 in the middle. So I'd have 3 nuts total, but I would still be missing 3 screws. All right, that thing looks massive, especially without the tire on there. It looks like it's way too tall, but we have it as far up as it's going to go, and it just looks huge and awesome. And this thing is solid built, but once we get the tire on there, it's probably going to make that thing look small again. But in comparison to the OEM third brake light, which it doesn't, the light's not in there, but you see the difference in the size there. Plus you have the chase lights and the reverse light, which is going to be super bright. So we ran the cable down and then in through the tailgate and then just up and through here. We're going to run the green wire over to the tail lights here. We're going to crown the black wire there, and then I went ahead and ran this yellow wire all the way up to our upfitter switch, and so we just need to connect that. So I'm going to go ahead and get those all connected, and we'll see, make sure everything's working. All right, so we went ahead, pulled this piece out. There's 2 10mm screws, and then 4 of these stupid pin things holding that in. And luckily, you know why? So we've already spliced it into here once with your tail, or no, did we do a tailgate wire? Tail hitch wiring?
Yeah.
Okay, that's, so we've already spliced into his tail lights once with an adapter, and that's what this is. So it actually works out. So for now we're going to have an adapter on an adapter. But we'll see if that'll work. But we're just going to go ahead and disconnect this. Or try to at least. There we go. And it actually worked out because we don't have to take the tail light out to get to that connector. And we're just going to pull that apart. And we're going to take this one, Turn Offroad, and clip that in. There we go. I want to make sure it clicks. Now this has a red and a green wire to it. I'm not 100% sure what the red is for. I'm assuming the green is the same as the green wire coming off here, which is for the reverse light. And so it makes sense that we tap into this. And let me go ahead and take this tape off here, show you what I'm talking about. I had to tape this up to make it a little easier to feed through. And we have this adapter which will plug in, and it could plug into either one of these, I suppose, but it would make sense that it would plug in to the matching green one. And then I don't know what this extra red one's for, because there's not another wire to connect to that. So maybe that's for future proofing, something that another addition that may be coming down the line, or something completely different. I'm not sure, but Actually, I want to just connect that and connect the ground anywhere I can find a ground. That might work. Can you start the Bronco and put the reverse light on just to make sure that it is connected? Tail lights work. That did not come on, but that might be my ground here. Let's see. Trying to find some place with a good ground. Are you still in reverse? Alright, now let me try the other wire then. How can you tell? Ah. So you can see it on there? Okay, yeah, there it is. I can see it on. So yeah, it was a problem with the ground. It wasn't grounded. But that's connected to the red wire. Now let me, one more second here. Let me go back to the green wire and go to the ground. And yeah, so apparently it can be to either the green or the red wire will work. Wait, you weren't in reverse just now?
No, I put it in park.
That's interesting.
No, I mean, I had it in reverse.
Yeah, but just now you didn't shift.
Yeah, I did. Hold on.
Okay, you are now. All right, and now you're not.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. All good. Thank you, sir. All right, so apparently you can plug either the red or the green and it will work for the reverse light. We'll go ahead and match it green to green. And then I guess if we want to add an additional reverse light, we got wiring right there that we can tap into. I think
Maybe that's for one of their lower reverse lights or something.
perhaps, I mean, we already got other reverse lights
We've got all the reverse
in
lights
here connected. So between these, which I don't know if you can see what I'm pointing to, but there's these rigid ignite lights in here, the regular backup lights, and that if you back into anything,
Right.
that's on you. So that's really it. The brake light itself, which I have this yellow wire which we had running before, back from this power to his brake light, or to his rock lights that lit up when you press the brakes, but we disconnected that. But I'm just going to go ahead and reuse this wire and cut this wire here and splice those together, so that'll be our power for the brake lights itself instead of running this into the door, since we already have power out here. Like I said, this is already spliced into it, so we're just going to go ahead and cut this off, splice that in to this wire, and then we got to connect our upfitter switch, and that should be it. All right, so we got the brake light power spliced in there, hopefully. We'll see. And that works. Yeah, that's very bright. You know, I thought these taillights were bright, but that's bright. That one's blinking. That one's doing a little dance there. I have one that doesn't want to. I don't know if it's got a loose wire or if our ground. I think if it was our ground, all of them would be doing that. So I don't know if we got a loose connection inside there. The more I look at I gotta stop staring at them because I'm starting to go blind. But yeah, everything else, I might have a loose connection inside here. That's a problem for another day though. All right, so we got everything connected. We got this wired. We're just gonna zip tie that up in here. This is our camera wire for the wolf box, and there's also another power wire in here somewhere. This is power that we have going, a quick connect for power for the license plates lights. So we got all that to run back through once we get the tire on there and get that all snugged up underneath. Let's run down and through to the upfitter, or to under the hood to the upfitter switch. So I'll go ahead. So yeah, that's
more than bright.
Yeah, that's really bright for that. And then you got the reverse lights, we got the brake light. Yeah, that is you're gonna get noticed if you got that. Oh. Yeah, the brake lights, you can't really, it's hard to see the brake lights when you have the chase lights on, but all the other brake lights light up, so I think it'll be fine. But yeah, So far it looks really good. We got to get the tire back on there, make sure everything fits. It should. If it doesn't, I don't know what we're going to do. Probably scream and have it fit. But no, it should be good. We'll get the tire on there and we'll show you what it looks like all buttoned up. All right, well, it is now nighttime. We started much earlier in the day, but we are done. So a 40 fits perfectly, you know, with everything lines up perfectly. I think they set up to a 42. I think 42 would be a tight fit. I don't even know if it would work.
42 wouldn't work.
Oh, there goes the raccoons. They're normally trying to get in our house at this point, but I guess they heard us out here and ran. But yeah, 40, I think it's perfect with the 40 on there. Like I said, we had it pushed all the way to the top. And this thing is bright. The brake lights are bright. The chase lights are bright. The reverse light's bright. So very awesome. I actually do have these on the site. I don't know if I do have them on there or not, but I will. By the time this video is posted, they will be on the site along with the optional quick
Plug and play.
Yeah, plug and play wiring. Like I said, you don't need the plug and play wiring kit, depending on how much you like wiring. If you don't mind messing with wiring, and you can get by, you are going to have to supply some of your own wiring. If you just want to use the plug and play kit, you don't want to have to go buy extra wire and figure out how to run everything. The plug and play kit works good. You just need to connect it to your tail light, which is going to give you the power for the reverse, connect a upfitter switch, and then connect the brake lights. Yeah, Matt, go ahead and run through them real quick so we could see. And I'm actually going to turn this light off in here. There we get the tail lights. The reverse lights. And then the chase lights. So yeah, and you see it's lighting up back here. You can see that without a problem. So yeah, definitely a nice setup. Gives you some options. And then I know you can actually change out the lights inside too if you really wanted to. Change these lenses if you wanted to. So pretty stout and stocky light fixture. I said, if you have 40s or anything below, it'll definitely fit and look good, and you have plenty of visibility there. So thanks once again, Matt, for letting us work on the Tat Squatch here. All right, so we were last recording. This light was not working when the brakes. Everything else was working great. It's kind of flickering. After a couple of days, it just stopped working completely. So I reached out to Turn and asked them, I'm like, hey, what's the easiest way to fix that? And Turn, being the awesome company that they were like, oh, sorry about that, and just sent out a whole new light. So they sent everything. We went ahead, swapped that out. We didn't swap out everything. We just swapped out the light itself. And now it works great. No flickering, no issues. As you see, all 4 lights are working now. So thanks to them for sending that out. Their support is always great, and now it works perfectly. And the reverse lights, the chase lights, everything still work. The chase lights as well. So yeah, everything worked great. Thanks to Turn Offroad for sending out the fixed light. Thanks, Matt, for coming out and letting us install this on the Bronco, on the Tat Squatch, which make sure you are following Matt at Tattoo-Matt71 or at Tat_Squatch or here on the channel. So thanks again, Matt. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.